This is the Avocado Project. The South Australian state election was on Saturday the 21st of March. While Labor leader Peter Malinauskas secured a landslide victory, the results have shown uprising support for Pauline Hanson's One Nation party, reflecting published polling of her popularity. So far, the continued count for seats has the Labor Party at 33, Liberal with 5, Independents carrying 4, and One Nation snagging 2, only with 4 left to be counted. Matt, what an amazing election for One Nation.
A big congrats to Labor and a big thumbs down to poor Pauline Hanson. But I did see that she did have some support though. It was more than I expected as well. It was over the weekend, the results showed that One Nation still hold like a consistent base of support across Australia. And it's particularly in regional and, of course, the working class areas. For me, what I think, while she failed to translate that support, but I think she's just struggling to push it into mainstream. That's what I think.
The results are actually pretty telling. I think that there is a reshape of the centre-right parties, the Conservative parties. I think the Liberal Party and the Nationals are having their votes shredded by Pauline Hanson's One Nation. There's a turn. I think people are sick of I guess some people say there's a duopoly in Australian politics, that it's a uni-party system where Labor and Liberal, I guess you can just say Labor and the coalition, basically take a turn at the wheel and nothing really gets done. So when, people are doing it tough, when there's a cost of living crisis, Pauline Hanson does a very good job at identifying issues that are current. As for solutions, they're very simplistic solutions. I'm not sure if they actually do solve anything, but the message is there. I think she's really good at messaging. But much to her success, she obviously has, I think her support, a lot of it came from the Bondi Beach terrorist attack. And this was squarely reinforcing having to have stricter immigration rules when it comes to who we let into the country. So this is this is definitely her strongest point. And she's garnered that support even further.
You're absolutely right. Because you have the two big ones. You've got Labor and Liberal. A lot of people don't know a lot about One Nation and, I'm doing air quotes here, policies.
Yep.
It's like both sides obviously hated with Labor and Liberal. And when you have someone that's saying what everyone else is saying, of course you're going to, pull towards that person. It's she taps into the feeling of the things are changing too fast for some people, right? And she's kind of bringing herself onto those topics of, this is happening, that's happening. It's feeding off the frustration of people,
Exactly.
the distrust in, the government and being ignored. People really voting for Pauline, or are they voting against everyone else?
Exactly. And I think another thing is that South Australia don't have an actual regional and rural party. So they don't even have the Nationals at a state level in South Australia. One Nation actually made their mark in this election. I think they're filling in the void of representing regional and rural communities in South Australia because there's no national party presence there. So I think that was also an opportunity for Pauline to test her popularity. Published polling had her nationally. They had her at, between 24 and 28%. Another interesting thing about this election is that the Liberals actually preferenced One Nation above Labor in a lot of the seats in South Australia, which I found interesting because that means that they're going to actually lose seats
Mm.
by giving it to one nation. So that kind of minimizes their, I guess you could say, their stronghold of being a formidable opposition in the South Australian Parliament. Does this mean that the Liberal Party, or in extension, the coalition, does that mean this is the end of a centre-right party?
It's I mean, the tide's definitely turning. I mean, it's you say Liberal Party and I say who, because I I obviously don't know everything, but it looks like the party hasn't really, gotten to their jam again ever since the last federal election.
Yeah,
Everything's
they
kind
got
of gone to
smashed.
shit.
They got
Absolutely
smashed.
trampled. They did. Ever since Labor has been in, like we've had Albo as our prime minister. You haven't really had too much of Liberals attacking, the stuff that people really want to hear. And to take it back to Pauline, she's bringing up issues that people already talk about. You have the reduce immigration to fix housing or cost of living.
Yep.
She's standing for the working people. The government is broken. Politicians are out of touch. I'm speaking freely. I think it's good to say all these things to rally people, but she's
Exactly.
got nothing to back it. And the stuff that she is saying is not true. What I think is not true because, and I was only talking about this the other day when she was talking about reducing immigration to fix housing. It's not because of immigration. It's because you've got zoning laws, you've got supply issues and interest
That's
rates.
right.
It's not just the one lever. Obviously, there's not a lot of the public that understand this sort of stuff. They hear immigration too much. Okay, get rid of them. It'll fix housing, fix cost of living. There's things that happen in the world as well that affect the cost of stuff in Australia. You can't just tell the government, hey, can you make fuel cheaper? Or hey, can you make the food cheaper? It's not how this works. We don't have that sort of power, unfortunately. When you're bringing these issues to people, you're obviously going to rally. I mean, I don't want to sound mean, but the people who don't fully understand how this sort of stuff works, you're going to bring these people into your group. She's going to get that support, but I don't think she's going to be able to break into the mainstream. I think she's going to be with that bunch of people, but I don't believe it's going to get any further. I think, yeah, she might gain a little bit here and there, but I mean, you have the internet, you have these things that you can search up. With a quick Google search, you can understand a lot of the stuff that she does say can be bullshit.
I actually think that she might do well with people who are 55 and over.
Yeah, for
I
sure.
think that's the demographic that she certainly has a strong hold on. To win seats always comes down to preferences at the end of the day. I mean, it doesn't really matter if you get the first preference votes. You have to win by preferences. And now, if she's chewing into the coalition vote, that is not enough for her to win a seat, at least a
No, of
lower
course
house
not.
seat on a federal level.
Mm-hmm.
Her policies would have to be a lot more, I don't want to use the word stripped back, but they would have to be a lot more palatable for the average Aussie. Because I don't really imagine her winning inner city seats, winning metro seats. You live in a regional area,
I'm
so
regional,
it's
yeah.
there are ways in which Pauline can actually harness and get more votes. I mean, this
Mm-hmm.
is this is a full circle moment for her. She's been doing this for 30 years. So to have her start off and then coming back 30 years later to see her poll numbers rising,
Mm-hmm.
it's kind of, she probably is jumping for joy right now.
Inner city voters care less about identity politics and more about, can I afford rent or can I buy, dinner for myself this week?
Exactly. It's
You
all
know,
bread and butter issues.
that's it. And that's where a lot of people are. I think she knows this too. It's the same way as how the Liberals pull in the people from the rural areas, and you don't really
Yeah.
get it a lot in the city. A lot of people in the rural areas, may only just watch the TV and they don't have access to the internet to look up this sort of stuff. That works for Pauline Hanson as well. She's showing herself as a more direct person and less politically correct person, which obviously
Yeah.
fits in with the older demographic. And her saying, I'm done with the Liberals and I'm done with Labor, people go, oh, she hates the two big parties. Maybe I might listen to her a little bit more.
It's kind of like taking a page from Donald Trump's first presidential run in 2016. I mean, he did
Yeah,
actually capture all the people uninterested in politics and speaking, speaking his mind, even if it's incorrect or politically incorrect.
I think she's
Um,
fragmenting the right. I think she's
yeah.
trying to reshape the right wing vote in Australia. I'm not obsessed with this woman. She's a very interesting person.
So, what do you guys think? Do you think One Nation support will continue to rise? Will you ever vote for Pauline Hanson? Leave a comment below and let us know your thoughts.